Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
All right, welcome back to the show. Today we have a very special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Heather Raffel. I'm a singer-songwriter musician.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the music scene?
Yeah, so I've always been into singing. I taught myself how to sing when I was in second grade. And then when COVID happened, I ended up losing both of my jobs, and it was really tough. And so it was kind of just a breaking point for me, as in uh, just taking that risk because I was always told growing up, like, what you should be doing in life is what you're like the most afraid to do. And that was music. And I was like, you know what? I lost my jobs. We're in the shutdown. I'm just gonna just give it a chance. And so I put out my first ever single, Lamb, and it got pretty big in Brazil, Egypt, and Mexico. It's pretty cool. And yeah, ever since then, I've just been doing music. So yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I was listening to some of your music earlier, and I love your new single. I played it for my wife actually, and she loved it.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, as far as coming up with songs and things like that, what is your process on that?
Well, it can be like a few different ways. Sometimes a melody will just like come to me and then I'll kind of like focus on it. Or my favorite way to write songs is like through a poem. So I'll start with a poem and then we'll just kind of bring it to the studio and I'll be like, hey, this is what I have. Let's try to make something with it. Or I might have a melody and we'll kind of play on to that. So it's a 50-50 process, I would say, with me and my producers. We just kind of just, yeah, get in the studio, just like fiddle around with a few sounds and just kind of go with the storyline and just kind of go for it.
And just kind of see what sticks and what doesn't?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like every single song had its own way of like becoming its own thing. Like sometimes it would just be literally, like I said, like a poem. I'll take a poem and then we'll just like come up with something. Or I'll be like, hey, like I'm thinking like sometimes I like to do like storyboards. So I'll put like moods, instrumentations that I hear, what I'm imagining the story or the music video to be about. Because I feel like when I make a song, I want to make sure that I can create a music video for it. And if I could see like a vision to the song, then I feel like that's the way I want to go.
And see, that's awesome. It's always curious to me to hear what the creative process is for people when, either creating music, art, stuff like that, because everybody pulls from a different area to do so.
Yeah, yeah. I've been really getting into a lot of like my late stuff has just been uh, every single song that I have out is kind of like a part of my life slash diary. So it's really cool to see like from my first song to now and like trying to get out of like heartbreak into like stuff about like family, self-love, self-discovery because I just feel like there's so much to talk about. So yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, and when you look at other artists, just from the outside lens, you're able to see that a lot of the stuff that they do is based on personal experiences, even if it's just to the smallest degree.
Yeah, it's a lot of personal experiences. Sometimes it's experiences of other people. Like, I'll have a friend and they'll tell me a story and I'm like, oh, wow, like I want to write about this. Or just like maybe something that like sometimes just I'm trying to get into like more so maybe making up stories because I feel like sometimes like but the thing is I feel like it's more personal and heartfelt when it's your own personal life. You know what I'm saying? Because then you can really
Yeah,
like relate.
people connect to that kind of thing too, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of my stuff has just been like stuff like I feel like when I finish the song, like I've just seen a lot of growth within myself. So it's like I'll come in, going through the situation and like just writing about it, like singing, recording, like maybe making a music video for it, mixing, mastering, the whole process, like the journey once it's done, I feel like I'm able to like heal. So it's kind of cool. It's like I'll start like kind of broken and then I'll work my way into healing once the song's out and it's like, oh, cool. It's the vibe.
Now, as far as, what is it like when you create the song and you hear it all put together?
Um, it's a very awesome feeling, because when you hear a finished product, it's never from like what it starts at, it's never like it's a journey for sure. Like you could literally like I remember I had this song Adam that's out, and like when I first made it, it had this like random melody in my head, and then like me and my guitarist, we were like trying something and the song is completely different. And then like now adding production, it's a whole different element. So it's just cool. It's like, you take like a little idea and it can become something so cool. But I think sometimes I have to tell myself when a song's done, like, okay, leave it alone because a song's never really done. You can always remix, remaster, like add to it, but you just kind of have to like love it as it is and just be appreciative of it and be like, okay, I'm gonna move on to something else, Because I think being
Right.
an artist, you're always like in your head feeling like, oh, like that could be better. Like sometimes I'll play my music, I'm like, oh, if I could just have done this part better, but I have to, understand it's a process.
Exactly. And I think it's a very interesting process, especially, for me, not, being on the outside and being able to listen to different artists and different genres of music. And, I feel like, you may not like certain songs that other artists do, but you connect with the ones that you really do. And for me, just, on like a personal level, I know when I hear a song, you almost go back to that moment in time when you heard it, whether it be good
Yeah,
memories or bad.
yeah, that's so true. Yeah,
And
it definitely has a place for that for sure.
yeah, and I think that's what's so great about, talking to artists like yourself and getting to hear your story because you get a feeling and you can then once you can start to hear it in the lyrics and in the music.
Yeah, I agree. It's cool. I feel like that's why a lot of people like you know, growing up, like they'll have an artist that they really like, and then they'll just really connect with their story and the songs, and like that's kind of what makes someone a true fan. Like someone that inspires me is Melanie Martinez because they're just like so unique in their own person. And I remember like seeing them on The Voice with like two-toned hair and like a gap in their teeth and like playing the tambourine with like their feet and playing the guitar. I was like, who is this person? And ever since then, I've just like been so inspired. So yeah,
Yeah, and that is also a big thing is when you're inspired by somebody, no matter what kind of career path you're trying to take, it has a huge impact on what you do and how you go about things. And I would imagine with singing and music, it also impacts the way that you sound and the way that the music sounds as well.
yeah, yeah. I feel like, God, one second.
Oh, you're good.
My dog is trying to get comfortable in this. um, yeah. Uh, I feel like I don't know, like when I think of The Real Me, for example, that's my favorite song that I've put out. I could just hear like the pain in my voice. Like I don't know, like you can just really relate and like resonate with lyrics. I even think of like when I listen to my favorite songs, like just really feeling the emotion behind like what they're saying, just everything about it. Like I just think music is just like such a beautiful healing thing. Like just being creative in general, like it just really inspires me. And yeah, so I totally understand how, like what you're saying. I agree with all of that.
Yeah, and having that creative outlet is also kind of like a healing sort of feeling too, because you have a outlet that you love doing, but you're also able to get things out that you may or may not be able to tell other people.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a lot easier in a song, you know? I feel like I struggle with communication, but I feel like when I'm writing out how I'm feeling, it's like the healthiest way. And sometimes like it may not make sense in the moment, but like throughout the process, it's like I'm able to like be more personal. And I feel like sometimes like music is like words that we just cannot like say to one another, you know?
Right. Right. Now, I do have a question for you on the music video side of things, because I've seen a couple of the ones that you've done, especially the most recent. When you're going about the creative direction for that, and you touched on being able to kind of see the way you want it to be, how are you able to go about it and make it look like a very, very high end production like you'd see on MTV or VH1 or any of those places?
Yeah, I think it's a lot about like scouting out just someone that really that you kind of can relate to style wise. I feel like the videographers that I worked with, um, they're just both amazing. Like I feel like the song that I did with Wilt Away, for example, um, it just it's so cool because I feel like I've learned to like come with like an idea and like a music video treatment, but also understand like, okay, everyone has their own craft that they're amazing at. So also like allow the creative freedom as well. So it's like we're able to both like intertwine and mesh well together, where it's like, okay, here's what I'm seeing for the vision. This is like kind of like the idea about it, and then just allow them to take that information and be like, okay, like we're gonna run with it, and then boom, you know? Because I feel like if you, that's just like what it all is. It's just creativity and like, you know, I don't, you know, I've edited a video, you know, a few of my videos, but I'm not out here like shooting them and like, you know, doing all that stuff. So it's just like I have to allow the creative freedom. Like that's like what they're amazing at, and then like I'm amazing at this thing, and we can come together and be amazing together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things I liked about the latest video you had is the music, the lyrics that you had and the way that you sounded went really well with the video. And I thought it was very creative, and it's one of those things where you see it, you even if you just catch a small clip of it, you want to
Yeah.
watch it the rest of the way through.
Yeah, exactly.
You're good.
Mailman. I'm gonna just let him go. I'm gonna let him bark. He'll be fine. Um, so my apologies about that.
Oh, you're fine.
I have a little Yorkie. He thinks he's over here like a guard dog, so
I've got a small terrier myself, and she thinks
okay.
she's 10 feet tall. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So it's like whenever anyone comes by, it's like, oh, you know, do your thing.
attack. Yeah.
Protect me. Um, so with Wiltaway, yeah, I I really was proud of that one because like I got into doing a lot of like lip singing, and like I feel like I appreciate um getting in front of the camera and like, you know, singing the song and everything. He did what he had to do. um yeah, so but I'm noticing that there's so much more that you can do. You can really like make films to songs, and I feel like the last one that I did I was really proud of because I was kind of trying to show a light into childhood trauma, and
Hmm.
so I was able to kind of talk a little bit about my own like past trauma that I've gone through, and like we were able to hire actors and like just really like play into the whole song of like wilt away, you know, which is like we had a flower like on my face and it was like wilting, and then like you would see scenes of just like the story I was telling, and that's probably like my favorite one just because it's like that just I sat with that and I was like, wow, like there's just so much more. Like I want to be able to make visuals where like I'm showcasing other people's talents, like whether it be like dancing, like, you know, um, just like yeah, like dancing for one is one I love, and then just like other people just in general, you know. I feel like it was cool to have actors, and it's like sometimes you don't have to be like the face of everything, you know, like let someone else tell the story too.
Exactly. Yeah, I get that wholeheartedly. Oh,
To do it. Should
oh,
I make
you're
this up?
good. No, you're fine.
It's because please use the UPS. Let me try to close the window.
Okay.
Not him, but it's just
So as far as being able to find your music, are you on places like Spotify and streaming places like that?
yeah, on all distribution platforms. So Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, just everywhere. Whenever it was more convenient for people.
Excellent. I know YouTube's a big thing for music. Oh, you're fine.
11 a.m. over here, so this is the time where like I get a bunch of packages.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we are a couple hours difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like worried. I was
Yeah, and it's fine. It's no problem. So I would be remiss if I didn't ask. I see that you have tattoos. Can you tell me some stories behind
yeah,
those?
I see
I'm
yours
always interested
too.
in that.
I see yours too. I was like, okay, they look great. Um,
Thank you.
so yeah, sorry, 1 second. Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing.
I'll be fine.
Okay, so with the tattoos, so I used to want to be a. Do you mind if I just take care of that really quick?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just have to open up the door, and so when he sees that there's no one there, he'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. Hi, Baron. My little wolf man. What you doing? Good boy. Yeah, good boy. What you doing?
So much happier now.
There you go.
Yeah, I took all the packages. Okay, so with the tattoos, um, I I used to want to be before I did music. I wanted to be a tattoo artist. So a lot of my stuff that I have had prior, I drew. And then like I would take to the tattoo parlor and I was like, hey, like can y'all tattoo this on me? And so that was kind of like the story of like my old stuff. And I had this whole like that bodysuit tattoo that was like based off of like things in my childhood that made me happy. Like I had like ice cream trucks, like lollipops, candies, just like a bunch of like, you know, cool little stuff. And then I think over time, just like with life and experience, you know, you just kind of grow out of things, and I've been really into like more like just like punk, like just like the edgy, like the blackout. Cause like I don't know, like I've gone through some stuff, and it's like I feel like sometimes the tattoos like can represent that, so it's like more of experience. But I don't know, I like the blackout, so
I
it's
do think
cool.
that's very interesting, actually, especially like on the hands. You know, you see them. I saw somebody with a picture somewhere on Instagram where their whole arm was blacked out.
Yeah, yeah. I go to Massachusetts to see my artist code. So like he's awesome. Like he's the best. Like he tattoos Pat like this is a bunch of people that like I really vibe with like in the tattoo community, you know. It's
And
cool
see, I
too because
think,
it's like oh sorry, yeah.
oh no, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying like the cool thing about blackout is like I had a bunch of color tattoo and like you can't even see it. It's, and I just think it's cool. It's like you can start over and you can either get like white ink if you want, or like black, or you can even get color on top of this if you want to do a whole new sleeve. So it's probably a mess.
Yeah, and I think, like music, tattoos are a form of creative outlet, especially if you're making your own thing.
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly. I feel like what I've noticed growing up, especially when I've gotten face tattoos, that's been a new thing. Um, there's always just like the people that can judge because they don't know, but it's like people I do tattooed are usually like the most nice people you'll ever meet. And like they're just
Yeah.
like very creative, like they wear hearts on their sleeves, like it's just another way of expression. We're just like outwardly showing it.
Yeah, tattoos aren't what they used to be. I mean, I can remember people telling me that, if you're covered with tattoos, you never get a good job, which is not true, especially
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
That people look at you like you're a hoodlum and a troublemaker, which is not true at all.
exactly. Yeah, it's just I like that it's becoming more normalized and like I think like social media definitely has helped with that. Like I've noticed like when I started getting tips, I would use Yelp and now I'm able to like a network on Instagram and like find people and travel and it's like I feel like people now like if they're starting out like this is the perfect time because literally Instagram you can just like find anyone. It's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of social media, where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, so social media, just Heather Raffel, my first and last name, just everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah.
Excellent. And I'll post a link to your YouTube channel and all your social media in our description, and then I'll also post a link to your new song because you know help
Yeah,
out people who help out you, I guess.
I appreciate that. I did want to mention that I am currently working on an EP, so it's gonna be my first like extended project, and so with that, it's a collection of 6 songs, and from start to finish, it's like a story. So every single song is gonna have a visual with it because I just love the fact that you can, show music in like a visual way as well. And like Beyonce's Lemonade was like extreme inspiration in regards to just like watching something with the music, and I'm hoping to, do something similar to that.
Excellent. You'll have to let me know when that's out so I can help get that out there. And
Certainly.
listen, I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy morning to talk with us. And I'd love to have you on again at some point.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Maybe like when the project is out or to come out and talk about it.
That'll be perfect. Yeah, definitely stay in touch.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so
Well, yeah, Heather, I appreciate it a lot, and I hope you have a good rest of the afternoon or morning.
much. Thank you. You too as well.
You're welcome. We'll talk to you later.
Down, down.